Okay, we'll get started with Michigan State student athletes. First question will be here on the aisle in the third row. And direct your questions to specific individuals as much as possible, and make sure you introduce yourself.
Raphael Haynes with the three-point conversion. Coach joked about, well, I don't know if he was joking or not, but he talked about how he was saying since you all are going to be in Atlanta, he get to save money because the food was going to be on you. That's what you said. Yeah. So I want to ask you, being able to be here in front of family and having a chance to advance to the Final Four, like, how does that feel?
You know, it's great. You know, he was joking, though. He wasn't for real. But, yeah, no, it was good, though. It's good. You know, I haven't really got a chance to play back home. You know, I went to high school out of my state, so it's going to be fun being able to play back here again.
Third row on the far left.
All right. Stephen Brooks, 24/7 Sports. This is for Jeremy. I'm wondering, have your coaching staff showed you guys any film from the Michigan State-Texas Tech game against Coach Beard, just to see your guys' offense against their defense a little bit?
No, we haven't watched any of that game, but we have watched definitely the film on them and how they play in their defensive scheme and, you know, what their strengths and weaknesses are.
So then I guess what do you notice about them specifically defensively and how they try to affect the point guard?
That they're a tough team. You know, they switch. Everybody physical, and that they guard and play defense.
Back row on the aisle.
Hey, Gunter Schroeder with USA Today. Kind of a follow-up for you, Cohen. Do you expect, a lot of people, family, friends, mentors in attendance for this weekend? And what's the last week or so been like, kind of trying to organize everything for that?
Yeah, I expect a lot of people here. And as far as trying to organize all that, I haven't really been doing too much. Mostly been my mom who have been taking care of all that. I try to stay away from all that,
Front row here on the right.
Robbie LaStella, Bracketeer.org. My question's for Jace. Jace, has there been any difficulty this year matching up against veteran guards as a freshman? It doesn't seem like it, but I was wondering if you thought there may be, and what has kind of led to your success as a guard in the Big Ten as a freshman?
I think when I first came in, it was a little bit of a difficulty, but I was going against these guys every day, so it was kind of getting me better every single day. And just as the season progressed, I felt like defensively I kept getting better and just kept working.
Second row on the aisle.
Mike Griffith, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Guys, I want to ask you about being recruited by Michigan State and Tom Izzo. I mean, Izzo's done things a certain way for a long time. You kind of know what you're signing up for. How do you get introduced to that before you go into a program like that with the sort of practices that you guys have, the intensity, that sort of thing? If you could each maybe share a little bit about your recollection of making that decision to play for Tom Izzo and knowing what you were signing up for at Michigan State.
Jace, let's start with you and then come this way.
I think coming in last year on my visits, just watching these guys work and how Coach was pushing them to be better players, better men, just overall, I think that was the most important thing to me, kind of just seeing what the coaching staff was doing and just how they were developing everybody.
Jeremy?
I'll definitely say watching, some games and films when I was younger, just watching Michigan State basketball and, seeing how he coached and, obviously that they were winning and playing in big games every year. So just something I wanted to be a part of.
Cool.
Yeah, just kind of seeing how he develops his players, how he cares about them. If you don't want to get coached, then it's not the place to go. But if you do want to get coached and get better, then this is one of the best places to go.
Jaden?
Yeah, just same thing all these guys said. You can see games, you can see practices, Coach gets after it, but it's for the better of the team and for the better of the individual. You come here, you're going to leave a better player and a better person.
Let's go fourth row on the left.
John Teitel from Hoops HD for Jace. I believe you and Tahad Pettiford were Jordan Brand All-Americans last year, and your brother Jackson is a 5-star recruit in 2026 who got an offer from Michigan. My question's, how close are you and Tahad, and who the heck is Jackson going to cheer for if you end up playing the Wolverines?
So I've been playing against Tahad since middle school, so we kind of just been around each other, playing around the circuit, so I've known him pretty well. And then as for my brother, I hope he's cheering for us. You always want family to cheer for us, but I know he's taking his visit up there. I don't have anything to say about it, but if that's the team he wants, then I can't stop him.
Second row here on the left, Paul.
Yeah, for whoever wants to answer, Paul Newberry from Associated Press. Again, talking about Coach Izzo, who started his career before any of you guys were born. How does somebody 70 years old who's been around this long, who's been through a game that has changed a lot over his career, still relate to you guys, you know, to this generation? And what did you see in a guy who's old enough to be your grandfather that made you, again, want to coach for him, that you could relate to him?
Jaden, why don't you take that one?
Oh, yeah, I mean, Coach is still a fiery individual. I feel like he still has a really young spirit at heart, and every day in practice, he always brings the energy, so I don't really feel like we think about his age that much. We just try to listen to everything he has to say, and his experience just makes us want to listen because we know that he's got to the promised land before.
I'll add on, just say just the fact that obviously the experience, but the personal connection. Like, he cares about you off the court. You know, you don't really think about basketball. He talks about family life, and so that's just that, just a family person.
Let's go fourth row, far left.
Chris Solari, Detroit Free Press. This is for the three guards. Last game, Jace saw a lot of doubles, and I'm wondering what you guys maybe learned from that, those extra attention on Jace, and maybe for Jaden in particular, how much that maybe helped you kind of get the shot going, and you and Trey on the outside and Jeremy getting downhill a little bit.
Jaden, why don't you start, and then we'll go to Jeremy and
Oh, yeah, I
Jace.
mean, you know, Jace is a great player, so he's going to garner a lot of attention, and I feel like it definitely made it easier for the other guys. And I feel like, you know, he played the game the right way, tried to make winning plays, and, you know, came through in the clutch.
I'll definitely say, I think, I don't know about Jace getting double teamed, but I think he has some great looks, great shots that, he usually makes. And, just the ball didn't drop. But other than that, he came back and when it mattered, like the last 5 minutes, made some big-time plays and winning plays. So just being able to help us out any way it can.
I just got to give credit to my teammates for the last game. I think last game I just wasn't hitting shots that I usually hit. Shots weren't falling. Kind of felt disconnected from the game just overall. But I knew coming in the stretch I had to make some plays because these guys were carrying me on their backs for 38 minutes. So I knew how to come in those last two and try to make something happen.
Let's go back row on the left on the aisle.
Andrew Kahn with MLive.com. I know all focus is on Ole Miss, but if you win, you could potentially play Michigan. Would you be rooting for that matchup? What are your thoughts on a potential third meeting with your rival?
I'll say, win the first game, and whatever else happens, happens.
Next.
Raphael Haynes from the three-point conversion. Jaden, usually when you're at this level, the guards that have the most experience come up big, whether it's scoring or just leadership. How have you approached this responsibility, and has Coach said something to you or pulled you to the side and talked to you about this responsibility?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely a big responsibility, one that I don't take lightly. I feel like I try to just help lead by example with these guys, and also if they need any help, they can talk to me about anything. I try to make whatever play I can on the court to help us win, and yeah.
Back row on the right aisle.
Hey, Gunter Schroeder with USA Today. I wanted to ask the guards in particular about your guys' three-point perimeter defense in the country coming in. You guys have the best mark in the country, and playing against an Ole Miss team that they've shot over 50% from behind the arc in these first two games. So what has the coaching staff kind of shown you guys on film, highlighted in terms of stuff you kind of want to take away to slow them down in that regard in their game?
Jace, why don't you start, and then we'll come this way.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss has been playing great. I mean, their point guard is the straw that stirs the drink, so he's kind of just starting the game. He's hitting a lot of shots as of lately, and he's been a big player for them. So we know defensively that we got to hone in on him and some other key guys that can really go out there and hurt us.
Jeremy?
I definitely say that, everybody's been making shots on their team, from their guards to their bigs, so you have to respect everybody, can't really give any dare shots, and, they play hard. So they're going into the game, they're going to play hard, they're going to push the pace, and they're going to guard us.
Jaden?
Oh, yeah, I mean, from the film that I watched, they, push the pace a lot in transition. Sometimes they got a couple open looks in transition, so we got to be able to take that away if we want to be successful.
Third row on the far left.
Stephen Brooks, 24/7 Sports. For Jaden, I'm wondering, Jaden, what do you remember about the last time you were on this stage in the Sweet 16? What are the lessons from that game, and how long did that game sit with you into the offseason, the way things played out there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was a tough game. It didn't end how I wanted it to. Definitely feel like I learned a lot from it, just, game management, time score management. And, it was a close game, so going to the offseason, it definitely stung and, still with me.
Still have a few minutes. Raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll continue. Nobody? Nobody's on the Zoom, so thank you very much. I'm sorry, did you have one? Yeah. Okay, let's go here.
Yeah.
Second row.
Yeah, you guys said you had an opportunity to watch some of the Michigan State practices. Obviously, you were well recruited by a lot of other programs. Was the Michigan State practice noticeably different to you? And if so, what did you take note of?
I'll definitely say when I came up for a couple visits, unofficials and then official. Just the fact that it's a family culture, like all of the players and the coaches would come up and greet themselves, to the family, to me, some of my friends that came with me, and just how coach. He got on players whether they made a mistake, but at the end of the day, it was to learn and to get better. So that was just really big, and for me, I just seem somewhere that I can find home.
Raise your hand, anybody? Okay. Michigan State locker room will still be open once the guys leave.